Hi, my name is McKay Bates, and I will be presenting the article Lots of Trouble. This article starts by describing how three major auto manufacturers, Ford, GM, and Chrysler, all had huge financial troubles because of their abuse of absorption costing. Absorption costing is an accounting principle that involves distributing all of the fixed and variable manufacturing costs to all of the units produced. If a company can produce more units, then its total cost per unit is decreased. This is because the fixed costs become allocated over more units. Furthermore, these costs are reported on the balance sheet as part of inventory instead of being reported as expenses on the income statement. This is not illegal, but is a standard business practice, and GAAP requires this process for external reporting. So if this is legal and standard practice, where is the problem? The problem arises when manufacturing companies abuse this process and produce excess inventory to hide other internal problems. For example, if I produce widgets and they aren't selling, and as a side note, I've been taking accounting classes for almost 20 years talking about widgets, and I still haven't figured out what they are. So if I have a factory producing widgets and they aren't moving, the logical choice is to stop or reduce production, sell my excess on-hand quantities, and then adjust production to meet the new demand. The problem here is that if I reduce production, the cost of my building and other fixed costs now have less units to get allocated across, which means that each widget now looks like it costs more to produce. As an executive or manager, I'm supposed to keep costs down. The easy way to do that is to produce more widgets to allocate the fixed costs to lower my cost per unit, or at least on paper. Management executives, specifically in the auto industry, have used this practice to make poor financial periods look better on the books. In the periods leading up to both the Great Depression and the GM and Chrysler bankruptcy filings that happened in 2009, automakers had abundant excess capacity. The companies at the time had enormous fixed costs that included the factories, all of the machinery, and even workers who had contracts that protected them from layoffs when the demand was too low. And to add insult to injury, senior executives at the time were incentivized on short-term metrics such as quarterly income and labor hours per vehicle. If they produced more cars, the fixed cost per vehicle would go down, and the related expenses are moved to the balance sheet as part of the inventory. Long-term, however, the company is left with excess inventory, which comes with various holding costs, including storage space and vehicle maintenance. In addition, these companies had to pay significantly increased advertising costs and also decrease the selling price of their cars in order to attract buyers. This becomes a catch-22 because the increased advertising and reduced pricing adversely affects the brand image and value of the vehicle and it actually deters customers from making the purchase. The FASB has already attempted to correct this issue with the issuance of Standard Number 151, issued in 2004, that directs companies to use absorption costing for normal capacity, but requires excess capacity to be treated as a period cost. The issue with this is that excess is not clearly defined. This ambiguity will be less of an issue when managers are not incentivized to make these short-term decisions. The article even suggests offering bonuses on customer satisfaction or brand image in place of these short-term cost-cutting goals. But the key point in the article is that companies should not be using external financial reports for internal managerial decisions. Managerial accountants are responsible to provide meaningful reports that assist management in making the best strategic decisions possible.